enough of my blabby warning crap. Let's get to it. For most of the videos, you'll see a top-down view of my desk. Vulkan can be controlled using a combination of the mouse and keyboard and optionally with an Xbox 360 controller. Oh yes, and the boxing gloves, that's just my way of psyching up for a day at the office. We all have our thing. This is Vulkan. We'll start with the gamertag's complaint queue. As you can probably expect, the left stick is used for navigation. Hold it up or down to quickly navigate the column of gamertags. Agents can also use the D-pad, but in order to give them a greater degree of control, holding the D-pad doesn't continuously move the cursor. It only moves the cursor once per press. Like I showed on an earlier slide, each of our decision types corresponds to a color on the Xbox 360 controller. Red for accurate, green for inaccurate, yellow for escalate, blue for reasonable. Once an enforcement agent knows these color codes, they can literally kick back in their office chair and start issuing enforcements. Here, you can see how with only button presses, an enforcement agent can roll through the queue. The cursor simply continues to the next item once a decision has been made. Obviously, we're tuning for both accuracy and efficiency here. The bright, glossy color changes clearly indicate the decision being made, and the automatic progression to the next item allows the agent to focus on the decision, not the interface. Of course, an enforcement agent can change their decision if they make a mistake or rethink their decision. They can move between columns and simply press the button corresponding to their new decision when that item is highlighted. Agents can also pre-fill an entire column with the same decision, as you see up there. They do this by holding the left bumper and pressing the button corresponding to the decision they want to pre-fill. This is useful to set all gamer tags in a column, for instance, to a reasonable decision, which is quite common, and then choose to alter each gamer tag one by one. It's all up to the enforcement agent's preference. I should mention here that we've implemented a safety precaution. The agent cannot set an entire column to accurate, only reasonable, inaccurate, or escalate. So let me take a step back from the application itself and mention a few pieces of terminology. We actually had a bit of rough time when we first started constructing this new version because we didn't have any idea what to call some of these things on the interface. So the right side we call the decision queue. It's where enforcement agents make their decisions, after all. On the left side is the enforcement queue. Once decisions flow over here, as just happened, we record the decision in Vulkan and submit the enforcement to Xbox Live. You can flip between the decision and enforcement queues using the right analog stick or a keyboard combination. I'll show you this in a moment. Finally, the decision queue is broken up into three sections: active, runway, and limbo. Active is where the enforcement agent is currently working. Runway are the incoming complaints for agents to handle. Limbo is the place where decisions have been saved in the application, but they haven't yet been recorded or submitted for enforcement. An agent still has the opportunity to move back into limbo and change their decision. Okay, let's go back to the application. First, I'll flip here between the decision and the enforcement queues. You'll notice that all non-accurate decisions disappear very quickly. The decisions have been recorded in Vulkan, but there's no enforcement action to take against them, so they don't need to stick around. What remains, however, are all of the gamer tags that need enforcement. You'll see the activity LED light up as we record the enforcement and make the necessary calls to the Xbox Live service. Once the enforcement succeeds, the item disappears from the enforcement queue. This all happens in the background while the agent continues their decision making, or they can flip over into the queue and watch enforcements happen in real time. So gamer tags are pretty easy. Profiles, on the other hand, are a bit more involved. I'll switch to that part of Vulkan to show you how that works. Another quick interface rundown. Decision queue on the right, enforcement queue on the left, just like with gamer tags. Active column full front, limbo columns to the left, also just like gamer tags, but limbo for profiles only has two columns because of the extra space we need for the profile card. This is the new piece that we don't have for the gamer tag complaints. This is where we can see the content on the user's Xbox Live profile after they've had a complaint lodged against them in the profile category. In addition, their avatar is displayed. This lets us find the modded ones. Okay, back to the application. Profiles work much the same way as gamer tags. Navigation is the same, decision buttons are the same. Even the process is very much the same. Agents make decisions on the active column, the color changes, and the decision is eventually pushed through to limbo and into the enforcement queue. However, if an agent marks a profile complaint as accurate, one moment. There we go. If an agent marks a complaint as accurate, they must mark the individual fields that violate the code of conduct as well. This includes the ability to also mark the gamer tag. Why do they do this? Well, because when we send an email to the user who has violated content in their profile, we include that profile content in the email. This way, the user knows exactly what they had in their profile that violated the rules. As this video continues to roll, you can see how a single button press allows an agent to make a non-accurate decision on a profile, and the focus simply moves to the next. Again, efficiency is great, but we cannot sacrifice their accuracy. This is your paid subscription we're talking about after all. So if an agent marks a complaint as accurate in the active column and then doesn't mark any profile fields as accurate, we clear their decision to ensure there are no accidental enforcements against players. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead real quick here and show you one last thing. One last feature I want to show in profiles is basically a warning to players who think it's clever to draw content in their profiles by a field. The Vulkan interface is tuned for narrative format text content, but some players cleverly format their text so it appears on the console or on Xbox.com as a drawing, basically the Xbox equivalent of ASCII art. What you see here is our way of enabling us to view that content. With a simple click and drag, agents can reflow the text to fit any width. Now, if you want to use ASCII art to tell everyone what a legit Clutch Pro beast you are, that's cool. But if we see a middle finger robot, expect a suspension. By the way, our enforcement agents got so good at spotting middle finger robots in the old version of Vulkan that we almost didn't have to do this feature. Totally true. So there's a lot more to see in Vulkan, but I don't want to overstay my welcome up here. We'll be posting this talk to YouTube after PAX, and I'll put together a bonus reel of additional Vulkan footage for everyone to look at. One thing I'll get on that reel is a demo of my favorite feature, which we simply call Instant, which allows us to do immediate enforcements against individuals when we see them doing things bad on Xbox Live. Believe me when I tell you that this is the most satisfying feature I have ever had the pleasure of designing. So to wrap up, as I said earlier, this isn't all of Vulkan, but we're excited to show you more in the future. The toolset is constantly changing and evolving to support the needs of the players on Xbox Live and the enforcement agents working to keep it awesome. After all, we're doing this for you, to keep Xbox Live a safe, fun, and hugely enjoyable experience for everyone. Thanks for coming to see us at PAX, everybody.
We weren't 100% sure that would be interesting to you. How was it? I wanted to sort of finish up. We've had a good time talking a little humorously about some of the ins and outs of enforcement. I wanted to talk a little bit about something I talked about last year at PAX Prime, and a little bit at PAX East as well. I was playing Bulletstorm the other day. Any Bulletstorm fans out there? How many of you play Anarchy online? One or two. Anarchy's really tough. It's a multiplayer mode to the game. And what is involved in that is actually working together as a team. So it's very much like Horde mode in other games, you know, or a variety of different other type of things where basically players have to defeat incoming waves of enemies. The thing that makes Bulletstorm interesting is that it requires the team to work together on specific challenges or you don't pass. You can kill all the enemies on the level and you still will not progress because you did not work as a team on the team challenges. Now, I got into the game and I was completely new. And there were 4 other new people and there was one guy who was awesome. I mean, he was killer. And he was teaching us how to actually play as a team, right? He would help set up the team environment that was required for us to score the additional amount of points that we need. And as I played with this guy, I felt like I really was having a blast, not just because I thought Bulletstorm was a fun game, but because here was this person who was taking the time to help all of us become better so that we could succeed and progress. I spoke last year a little bit about sportsmanship. I spoke a little bit last year about how it is on us as gamers to sort of spread that word of sportsmanship and fun and fair play. And I talked a little bit about obeying Wheaton's Law, which I think everyone should do. And I thought, as I was playing this guy, about when I was younger and I would grow up in the world of arcades and a park near my home, where you oftentimes had that same camaraderie where someone next to you might be cheering you on to get to the next level of a video game, even if they had the next quarter on top of the arcade machine that showed that they were going to have the next game. They were excited about that. And I wonder if it isn't time as well, us as enforcers, of course, are here to help protect. But as I think we all got out of the keynote today, that we are all contagious vectors of awesome, for those of you who saw that, I wonder if it's not time to go a little bit beyond Will's suggestion and not just not be a dick, but maybe be excellent to each other. Bulletstorm guy, he was being excellent to everyone.
San Diego's high school football rules!
Where else? Where else but PAX could that be screamed out loud and everybody laughs? That's awesome. But yeah, I think it's time also for us to think a little bit about not just discouraging the miscreants, but also trying to spreading that message as being contagious vectors of awesome, that we step back and say also, you know, I don't just do that by not being a jerk, or even discouraging jerk behavior. Perhaps it's cool also to be that helpful person, and so I wanted to throw that out there as our message to you today as well. We are happy and we are proud to be on Xbox Live and to help protect the service, and we want that to be a great experience. We would like you to help join us in that, both through complaints, helping us do our job, but also as being sort of ambassadors and as gamers, because I think that's what PAX celebrates the most. And I think that is one of the reasons that this place is just so fantastically awesome, and I recharge my nerd meter every time I come here. So with that, I can't think of anything else that I was going to do. Oh, right. Could the disciples of the Brotherhood of Stepto please bring me the Book of Enforcement?
If you drop it, Xbox Live goes down.
Don't drop it. Because I can't just have it with me. I gotta have a production. Thank you, disciples of the Brotherhood of Stepto. Wait, whoa, no, you're not, no, you're not. No, it's not enough. It's not enough. The gunners are a nice touch. The gunners are a nice touch.